So the best way to describe Donald Trump, he's like that kid in 5th grade who obsesses about whatever girl and constantly passes her love notes with these little, questions. Do you love me? Mark box for yes, mark box for no. Please tell me or my world will end. That's who Trump is. And in fact, this is a real headline coming out today. The president is obsessed. Trump fixates on Xi call amid faltering trade talks. For reals, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, is obsessing whether or not he's going to get a phone call from China. And the joke is that Trump keeps calling up President Xi, and Xi's answer machine picks up and just plays speeches of Obama. That's a joke. But this is actually a real thing. That's not a joke. Well, it's a joke in the sense that it's so embarrassing, but it's not a joke that I guess, yes, Trump is obsessing about phone calls with Xi. And we've actually seen the president's closest advisors, be it Lutnick or Bessent, talk about said call. That's what they're pushing for. And now we got a report. This is coming in from Politico. Let's read the details. It's hard to keep a straight face on this stuff because it's so ridiculous. Here it goes. It says, President Donald Trump thinks a call with China's leader Xi will help reset souring trade talks, right? So Trump's really really wants to talk to Xi because he sent him a note, do you love me? X for yes, X for no, that kind of thing. But even if that conversation happens this week, that's what everyone's been pushing for, as the White House said, is, quote, likely, it is doubtful to be a breakthrough Trump is hoping for. So I'm actually quite curious, to hear the Frank guys, will the phone call happen this week? Will Trump finally get to hear President Xi's beautiful voice? He really is obsessing about this. This is the quote. The president is obsessed with having a call with Xi, said one person familiar with the trade talks. Convinced, and this is Trump's convinced he can personally hash out deep-seated divisions between the world's two largest economies, mano a mano with Xi. Okay, let me tell you what's going to happen. Trump's going to call up Xi. Now, let's pretend the call happens this week, right? And Xi will make all these demands, and Trump will say yes, 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 and yes, as long as I can get my photo with you. That's how crazy this nonsense is. As you guys know, this is all about the taco trade. Trump always chickens out. I mean, how is this where people and this is both privately and in public are talking about how Trump really, really wants that phone call with Xi. Now get this, and you guys thought I was joking about the letter situation where, Trump sending out letters, do you love me? Mark box for yes, mark box for no. This is another crazy headline. Here it is, exclusive from Reuters. U.S. pushes countries for best offers by Wednesday as tariff deadline looms. I'm telling you guys, this is just like 6th grade, right? It's the elementary school Trump trying to get people to talk to him on the phone. He's trying to get people to respond to his letters, and now I guess we're sending out a bunch of letters. And get this, I think we screwed up somewhere, because this is also the same day. EU did not receive a U.S. letter demanding best offer in trade talks source. So Trump really wants to talk on the phone with China. We're trying to maintain love relationship with the EU, but we didn't even send them a letter or whatever, or maybe EU, maybe got sent to the wrong address. Who knows? That's how incompetent we are. And you'll get this from multiple sources, right? Letters urge U.S. trading partners to submit their best offer. This is how bad things are. Remember, before the Trump people were trying to convince us that everyone's knocking on our door. Now we're just like trying to get people to respond at all. It's so ridiculous. And true story, the press secretary Leavitt just had a press conference just minutes ago. She confirmed both the phone call situation and the letter situation.
Caroline, Reuters was reporting that there is a letter that is meant to be sent to other countries, which would give these countries a deadline of Wednesday to produce their best offer on the trade matter. Why does the administration feel the need to send this letter? And I have one more follow-up on trade.
Sure, I can confirm the merits in the content of the letter. USTR sent this letter to all of our trading partners just to give them a friendly reminder that the deadline is coming up. And they are in talks. Ambassador Greer, Secretary Bessent, Secretary Lutnick are in talks with many of our key trading partners around the globe. As you know, Brian, I know the Wall Street Journal has covered this quite heavily. And they continue to be engaged in those discussions. And this letter was simply to remind these countries that the deadline is approaching and the president expects good deals, and we are on track for that, I will emphasize.
So this isn't all, quote, fake news. Let me read some of the details of this one. And guys, it's so embarrassing. I mean, okay, let's go through it. It says here, the Trump administration wants countries to provide their best offer on trade negotiations by Wednesdays as officials seek to accelerate talks with multiple partners ahead of a self-imposed deadline in just 5 weeks. That's according to a draft letter negotiating partners seen by Reuters. And in fact, we have seen this strategy before, so this is not the first time. So when the Trump first did the tariff thing, they said all the countries are knocking on the door. What other countries were saying is that they would come meet with whatever trade reps that the U.S. would send out, and the U.S. would just sort of be kind of listening, going, okay, what kind of offer can you give me? What do you got for me? and countries were reporting like, man, it doesn't seem like the USA knows what they're doing, what they want, etc. And then the other problem was, as it appeared, was that even the trade reps that the U.S. had sent out weren't authorized to make any deals anyway. They were just trying to solicit offers. So that's our trading strategy, is just like, tell me what you can do for us. And now we're writing letters to do said thing. I mean, what difference is a letter going to make if China won't even pick up the phone and we can't even get a letter to the EU? Like, what are we doing? Here's some more. You got to hear the details of the draft. From the Office of the United States Trade Representative provides a window into how President Donald Trump plans to bring a close, so we're hoping to end this thing. I think he's getting a lot of pressure, of course. A close unwieldy negotiations with dozens of countries that kicked off on April 9th, when he paused his, Liberation Day. Remember, he said, we're all going to be liberated, whatever, by raising your taxes until July 8th. So we still got some time left, about a month or so, after stock, bond, and currency markets revolted over sweeping nature of the levy. So basically, the bond market has been suggesting that they have no faith in the United States. We've got a downgrade in our credit rating, you guys know. And then today, it was the OECDs basically saying, U.S., you're going to slow down even more than what Congress thinks. Congress was saying under Trump, 1.8 GDP growth. OECD was like, no, it's going to be more like, 1.5, 1.6, that kind of stuff. And now you got this desperation move by the Trump administration to now just send out letters as they like, please answer me. What else does it say? It says, the document suggests an urgency within the administration, you think, right, to complete deals against its own tight deadline. Because this is the sort of situation like Trump is, again, when you're that kid in class and you send a letter, you're like, oh, please answer me. If you don't answer me, something bad will happen. And if you answer me, I'll go look for someone else or whatever. Like, you try to give an ultimatum, and then the ultimatum passes and then nothing happens. Like, that's sort of like your reputation's on the line. And then people start to just laugh at you because you're a joke when you send out those stupid letters or try to make phone calls with people that don't want to talk to you. That's who Trump is. This is what we're dealing with here. Let's hear some more. While officials such as White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett repeatedly promised, right, here's all these promises, that several agreements were nearing completion, as they keep saying that. They keep saying, I think Lutnick said the other day, we shared it with you on the channel, he's like, oh yeah, if we wanted to complete a bunch of deals, we could totally do it, but we're trying to look for good deals, right? And then the Hassett, same kind of stuff, Bessent, same kind of stuff. They always act like we're on the cusp of, deals all over the place, but honestly, it doesn't sound like that to me if we're desperate to send out these crazy letters. Here we go. It says here, so far, only one agreement has been reached with a major U.S. trading partner, Britain. Even that limited pact was more akin to a framework for ongoing talks than a final deal.
Now there are at least some conservative MPs in London who are complaining that Parliament has not yet seen the text of any deal. So I'd like to ask you from this side of the pond, is there a text for the deal ready to be released, submitted, and if not, when can we expect it? And then I have one more.
There's most definitely text with this deal. There is language that this side has seen. You'll have to ask the UK Parliament why they haven't seen it from their own government. I obviously can't answer that question.
People in the UK, some of the MPs, they haven't seen the full details and text of said thing. They're like, hey, can we see the full text? Is it out there? And she basically dodged the question of like, oh, well, if they haven't seen the text, that must be their fault, not ours. I mean, this is the kind of nonsense answers that they give. And for me, you know, when I read through everything in entirety, it just feels like complete U.S. incompetence. That's why when you go through this stuff, and again, the president is obsessed with talking to President Xi.
Thank you. When it comes to the leader-to-leader call with Xi Jinping this week, what is the president's expectation of this call? Is he looking for concrete outcomes out of this, or is he looking to kind of warm relations as these trade talks are ongoing?
Well, President Trump and President Xi have shared a respectful relationship throughout the years. And again, I won't get ahead of the president on that call, but as always, after, you'll hear directly from the president or from myself or someone else here at the White House.
What is this? Here's some more. It says, in the draft, the U.S. is asking countries to list their best proposals in a number of key areas. Okay, so what do we got? Including tariff and quota offers, okay, for purchase of U.S. industrial and agricultural products, and plans to remedy any non-tariff barriers. But this stuff is a non-starter. So like, regarding the agricultural stuff, and I have to mention stuff over and over again because this is where it's a non-starter, where if U.S. food does not meet the standards of other countries because U.S. food quality is not very good, like, do you expect other countries to say, oh yeah, you know what? We just don't care about the health of our citizens. You know what? We're going to lower our food quality just so that we can buy American food. Do you think other countries are going to do that? Tell me if you live in Europe, if you think you're going to. Tell me if you live in Asia, if you think you're going to do that. I can tell you guys, I don't think so. And these are actually, you know, for America's listening stuff, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. I'll just say this. These are actually very serious issues in other countries, be it the UK. I can tell you in Korea, if you said, hey, you know, Koreans, you're going to take old meat from the USA, you're going to take subpar meat, you're going to take poison meat, be it, you know, mad cow disease or whatever, chicken disease or whatever, because this stuff can happen if you don't have regulations or whatever things that happen in USA. People don't want to eat that kind of stuff. People don't want your old meat, right? Or if you're putting too many chemicals in said products. This is the kind of things that you have to deal with. And then you also have this remedy of non-tariff barriers. So, you know, basically like Trump will go to the EU and say, EU, you know, you and your various countries, you got to eliminate your VAT. That's not going to happen. And it can't happen that quickly because even if it did, even if they eliminate VAT, right? Value-added tax, even if they eliminate that stuff, it would still need to go through various parliaments and congresses. Like, you can't just do deals that quickly, and there are so many players involved that want to, you know, have their say. And so what Trump is trying to do essentially is, you know, do these like unilateral, all by myself, I'm the Superman talks, and even go around U.S. Congress, let alone try to go around other countries' Congress or Parliament. So this whole thing is just completely insane. I just had to share this update with you regarding Trump's obsession with calling Xi and also now sending out these crazy letters to other countries. That's what's up. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think about this stuff? And I'll catch you all in the next video.